I was hoping that I would be able to film a much better quality video for everyone. But the reality is, this is just what you get. It's me just doing everyday life. It is now January 2nd, and nothing has gone the way I've planned this week already, and it's just gonna continue that way. So I know I needed to get this filmed and uploaded tonight because I have a dental procedure tomorrow that's gonna kind of knock me out probably for the rest of the week. So let's just kind of get into today's video, which is all about the Three Rivers Homestead Challenge. Now, I like to participate in this because it's just something that is kind of a conversation with other people that are participating in it, and it's also kind of a documentary for me just to see how far I've come just in this aspect of life of learning how to use what I have preserved. Again, I really wanted to kind of put out a very more aesthetically pleasing video, a more professionally done video where I could kind of lay things out as to, well, this is what I have preserved and we did this in this video and all that stuff. But I am a very, very busy woman and I just don't have that kind of time. I'm not only a stay-at-home mom to 5 children, I do a lot of side hustles and my days are very full. So it's just gonna have to be this way. So a couple of things that I wanted to address and kind of give an introduction into this series is that the Three Rivers Homestead Challenge is put out by Jessica from the Three Rivers Homestead channel, and she doesn't have rules. It's kind of to do whatever works best for you and your family. I believe she does it where she does not grocery shop for January and February, but they work really hard to use what they have collected from the year using as your standard, her garden, produce, and all of that. Now, pretty much since my husband went back to school, we've been trying to do that, but I have grocery shopped. It's just been very inconsistent. It's been very sporadic. It has had no really plan or method. It's just, that's kind of been my year right now. So January and February kind of give me a little bit of a reset. Because I haven't done well with planning, this is just kind of a really good way to make sure that I'm rotating through the items that I have. And it kind of serves as a dual purpose for me. One, to make sure that I'm rotating through what I have, but two, I would really like to get to a familiar and a really good routine, not really sure what the word is I'm looking for, but where I can do a monthly grocery haul and kind of work up to maybe even like a 6-week grocery haul where I just grocery shop every 6 weeks. The less I can go into stores, the better it would be. So that's kind of, doing this can really help me get in the mindset of that and just be realistic about what we use and what is needed in terms of what we run out of quickly and whatnot. So that's kind of my dual purpose in this. I've had a couple questions, and this is how I'm going to do the challenge that works best for our family. Like I said, Jessica says there are no rules. She has certain rules. Because we do heavily rely on our mobile food pantry, that will still be continued, and I still will pick that up and utilize that and do my best to continue to preserve using those items. But I will definitely be working towards not going to the grocery store, but I'm not very good at saying I will never enter the grocery store. You know, sometimes you just are like, I need greens, I need this item or that item, and I don't really want to limit myself in not doing that. I would like to, but also, again, just kind of, I don't know what the case may be. So, I don't really have any rules, just goals. The goal is to work through the items that have sat towards the back of the shelf and rotate through that. And some of the things that are brought up, well, is it going to be more costly to replace this? Because again, we are just living very frugally and very minimally. So how is that going to look like if you have to replace all of this? What my personal idea and goal is, I should say what my personal idea is I will basically keep track of what we're using to the best of my abilities and use that to be replenished, and just use these next couple of months to kind of stockpile cash away to replace that in so much as possible. I also wanted to add that with the items from the mobile food pantry or the food pantry, I did one haul with that, you can end up with items that you wouldn't normally purchase, and so those are items that you definitely want to make sure that you're using and not letting that go to waste as well. You know, maybe I'm using a bunch of smaller cans of diced tomatoes that I got at Aldi, and now I have to replace that. Well, again, if it's stuff that's sitting towards the back and not being rotated through, it does need to be rotated through and replaced. Now, I may not be able to replace the 10 cans that I did, but if I replace 5, obviously in the next few months, leading up until the next November, December, January timeline, I can get the additional 5 without hurting us too much financially. I did do a grocery haul. You will see that video here shortly. I would like to try to get this one up tonight if I can. But that I did a kind of a precursor, is that the right word? Haul, where I went to Aldi and I mainly stocked up on beef. I do not have a lot of beef in my fridge. I think I had 1 3-pound roll left, plus what I purchased last week that I believe I shared with you guys. I'm not sure if I did. I might be with the Aldi haul. Oh God, I don't remember. But I had picked up some beef that was on clearance, and that's pretty much all I had. And so I needed that, and I think there was like a 3-pound tub in my freezer, and that was about it. What's mostly in my freezers is produce that I've put up from the food truck. So we have blanched cauliflower, we have a ton of broccoli, green beans, onions. There's a lot of diced onions in my freezer. A lot. I think that takes up one shelf just in and of itself, and bags of it. So there's a lot of that. There's some jars. So when I made pasta sauce, if I didn't have enough to can it, I would just put it in a glass mason jar and put it in the freezer. I need to kind of rotate through that. There's a few meals in there, and I would like to rotate through that. I think that kind of covers it. Like I said, I really wanted to film and share with you what we had and kind of what I was focusing on using. A lot of what I'm just trying to focus and use is the canned mobile food pantry food. I kind of like tucked that away as we got it, and without purchasing anything else while that was still sitting here, it just kind of has accumulated to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel confident that I can use that and rotate through that. So that's a main one. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but I hope if there's any other questions how it works with our family and how we're going to do that, just go ahead and leave it down in the comments below, and I will try to address it in another movie. But the main thing is working on rotating through the pantry so that stuff isn't just getting piled up, because I don't really have a pantry. I have a shelf, and then I have little pockets that I put everything else in just to make it work for our family. Because I have that, and it doesn't really have a good system. Things can get kind of pushed back or forgotten or whatever. So this is just a really good way to make sure that it's being rotated through. So that's the main one. Making sure that I kind of know what we use for our family, and then be able to replace that affordably on a pretty regular basis. And then keeping track, and then figuring out financially how to keep stuff rotated on a, not rotated, I'm sorry, financially just trying to plan things out in a good, logical, and systematic way, with good record keeping and tracking and things like that. I apologize. I hope this is not very confusing. I really hope. I've got so much going on, and I don't have the mental capacity right now for it. And anything that has to do with dental is, I don't want to say like traumatic for me, but it's very stressful. So I'm just mentally not here for this. So like I said, if there's any questions that I can do, just put in the comments down below. We're going to go in. I'm filming every day, kind of what we're eating. I did not get anything filmed today. I have not been home all day. So it was just impossible. Okay, it's just getting chaotic in here. I'm going to close this out. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you around.